Welcome. In this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to add gem rock mining into the mining skill. To get started we need to go into comfeathergame.player.actions.mining and then go to the mining.java. Now we're in the mining.java. Underneath crashed star we need to drop down another line and we need to type in gem underscore rock and them two. Okay, so now that we've got this in place, the next thing that we need to type in is we want the level to be 40, we want the XP to be 65, we want, which is the next thing, the ore ID to be -1 because we don't want it to drop a specific ore. The ore base time is the same, and the ore random time would be 30 because I think that's more appropriate just for this. -1, -1, -1. So 3 -1s at the end here. And once that's done, Control S and save for a second. So random life probability means it will not ever expire. And we can actually do that to every single ore. So it will make it an infinite loop of gaining that ore. So it never disappears. So we could have unlimited runite ore and so forth, so it doesn't ever disappear. We can just sit there and mine it for days, which is pretty handy. But anyway, so now that we've continued on, we need to go down to the add ore as seen in the previous video, and we need to go underneath this commented out else if statement because we want it to be on the bottom of the list. We want to do another else if. We need to do a definitions equal rock definitions dot, and did I spell something incorrectly? Gem rock, I believe it was. And if we open that, I think the rock definitions is spelled insufficiently wrong, wasn't it? Here we are. I spelled that wrong, so that was my bad. Okay, so now that we continue on with this, I just want to put a space there so it looks more appealing to the eye because it has to keep that consistent element. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go integer because we're making an integer as an array, and the array name is going to be called gems. Now obviously that's self-explanatory what the gems actually means. Okay, so the item IDs that we need for this is the unnoted version, the unnoted versions of these gems. So we need 1617, 1619, 1621, 1623, 1625, 1627, and 1629, and 1631. Now that's every single gem from pretty much everything up to Dragonstone. We're not going any higher than Dragonstone. You could add Onyx if you like, but I don't think Onyx would be very handy at this because you'll get Onyxes pretty often. And we're not trying to do that. We're trying to make it that these will happen randomly between each with no specific amount. But if we want to do a specific amount, we'd need to do a utils random, generate the random number between say 1 and 500 will give you the basic stuff, and between such and such and such and such will give you something else. And we could do that in a later tutorial, but just for now we want to add this in. So the next thing we want to do is int I. It can be any letter you like. The only reason why I'm using I is because I is very easy and it's very basic. So utils random, this one here is going to go gems dot length, and then we want to go -1 and then semicolon at the end. Now player dot get inventory dot add item, and then the item we want to add is gems. Now because we made an array before, the array that we want to do is the int I array because the I of the length which takes the array from the gem, so it will look up specifically this I will look up the gem. So the gem is this underneath its array, so the gem array of letter I, if that makes sense. And then we also want to Oops, we're not meant to put that there. Sorry. Down underneath the I, we need to do a 1. So that there. Okay. So that's going to say that it's going to get any one of these random ones, whatever it chooses. It could be anything. And then it's going to give us one of it when we actually mine it. And then we're going to go Control S to save. The next thing we need to do before this actually will work, at the moment we will not be able to mine this node because this node does not exist in game. So we need to go to object handler.java. The next thing we need to do in here is look up rock definitions. So Control F to look up rock definitions, follow it down. Now underneath these two sections of rock definitions, how it says LRC gold ore and LRC coal ore, we need to type in this. We need to go else if, and we want to do ID is equal to 11195. Okay, and then once we've done that, we want to do player.getActionManager.setAction, and we need to do new mining, and then we're going to do object, and then we want to do that with rock definitions dot, and then we want to do gem rock. Okay, and then a semicolon at the end. Now Control S to save. Next we want to start our client and our server, so server first, and then once we're in our client, I'm going to put it in full screen, and I'm going to give you coordinations to Shiloh Village so you can appear where I am. I've already teleported here earlier today because I was going to do this earlier today, but something come up, so I stopped recording. So here we are, right? This is where we'll be. I'll also give you the NPC ID for the pickaxe that I'm using. So you can use the master command to make yourself max, just so you can edit this if you want to. But what we're going to do is we're going to find that item ID, which is the dragon pickaxe. The dragon pickaxe is 15259. Okay, so now that we've got that, so you want to spawn that item in by doing the double semicolon items, so 15259 I believe it was, and that will give us the dragon pick. Okay, so I don't need that. As you can tell, I've started mining because I was mucking around earlier, so I'm just going to bank all these items quickly. I did delete my character and restarted the character again just to have a fresh character with not so much stuff in the bank. Now as we're into this part, to mine on the rocks, all we're going to do is once we've equipped that pickaxe, or even if it's in our inventory, just click on the mining node and we will start mining. Obviously it will take a few seconds. You can change this between that 30 in the gem rock enum to make it faster and slower. The lower you go is the faster, the higher you go is the slower. -1 would be really, really fast, but I think that's way too fast. At this pace, I think it is appropriate. It's probably about what they're using in RS. So hopefully this tutorial has become helpful and it has helped you add in the gem rock mining to your mining skill. And I hope to see you in the next video. If you could like, subscribe, and also follow, that would be much appreciated. Cheers.